Probability exercise 15.1, chapter 15. So, first question is complete the following statements. Probability of an event E plus probability of the event not E is equal to how much? Is equal to 1. Second, the probability of an event that cannot happen is dash. Such an event is called dash. So the probability of an event that cannot happen is 0. Such an event is called impossible event. Is called impossible event. Third one, the probability of an event that is certain to happen is 1. Such an event is called sure event. Sure or certain event also we can tell it. Then the fourth one is sure or certain event. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. Last one is the probability of an event is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to it lies between 0 and 1. So the probability of an event is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1. So next question, the second one. Which of the following experiments have equally likely outcomes or equal outcomes? So equally likely outcomes are those outcomes which has the equal chance when it is performed. Any experiment whichever is performed, equal chance of obtaining as a result in an experiment. So driver attempts to start a car. The car starts or does not start. So is it equally likely that it starts and it doesn't start? A player attempts to shoot a basketball. He or she shoots or misses that shot. So over here also we have to see whether it misses or whether he hits a shot, whether they are equally likely. Then in the third one, a trial is made to answer a true or false question. The answer is right or wrong. So whenever a question is given, whether it is right or wrong, is it equally likely, we'll see. Then fourth one, a baby is born. Is it a boy or a girl? Okay. So now here we are having 4 questions. In these 4 questions we have to see which are equally likely. Here the third and the fourth bit, that is a trial is made to answer true questions. So whenever you are answering a question, if it is a true or false question, you either write it as true or false. So only 2 answers. Both are equal. They have equal chances of occurring in that question. Next, in fourth one we have a baby is born, it is a boy or a girl. So if a baby is born, for sure we know that whether it is a boy or a girl. So both are having equally likely chances that a boy can be born or a girl can be born. But the remaining 2, player attempts to shoot a basketball and the driver attempts to start a car, these 2 are not equally likely. events because they can, it need not start, and here also he need not kick also. Okay, so therefore next question 3 is, why is tossing a coin considered to be a fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of a football game? So when we are tossing the coin, do you know for sure that it is either a head or a tail? So we are not at all sure. It is unpredictable. It is probability which we are finding. Therefore, when we toss a coin, the outcomes are equally likely. That is, both getting a head and getting a tail are equally likely. So the result of an individual coin toss is completely unpredictable. So we don't know how to predict what is the result of this individual coin toss. So when a coin is tossed, the outcomes are equally likely. If it is not equally likely, we don't consider it as a fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of a football game. So because they are both equally likely, therefore you tell that it is completely unpredictable, the result. So therefore the result of an individual coin toss is completely unpredictable, and it is considered to be a fair way of deciding. Now next fourth question, which of the following cannot be the probability of an event? We know that always probability of an event lies between 0 and 1. So it should always lie between 0 and 1. The first here the choice is 2 by 3, second one minus 1 by 1.5, and C is 15% and D is 0.7. So here which of the following means, here we are having minus 1.5 cannot be the probability of an event because probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. 0 is less than or equal to P of V is less than or equal to 1. So now we can see in the remaining choices all lie between 0 and 1. Next. So minus 1.5 is the value which cannot be the probability of an event because probability of E lies between 0 and 1. Next question 5. If probability of E is equal to 0.05, what is the probability of not E? It is given that probability of E is equal to 0.05, then probability of not E is equal to 1 minus probability of E. So probability of E is equal to 0.05, then probability of not E is 1 minus probability of E. So which implies that probability of E is equal to 1 minus 0.05, which is equal to 0.95. Question 6. A bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Malini takes out one candy without looking into the bag. What is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy, a lemon flavored candy? So Malini takes out one candy without looking into the bag. What is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy is the first bit, and second bit is a lemon flavored candy. Now in the bag contains only lemon flavored candies. you don't have orange flavored candy. So what is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy over here? It is an uncertain event because the bag doesn't contain any orange flavored candies. So therefore here you are having 0 is the answer because the bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Second, what is the probability that she takes out a lemon flavored candy? So it is because definitely there are only lemon flavored candies in that bag. So therefore the probability is nothing but 1 because the bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Because the bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Next, question 7. It is given that the probability of two students in a group of 3 students not having the same birthday is 2 students in a group of 3 students not having the same birthday is 0.992. So what is the probability that the 2 students have the same birthday? So the probability that both 2 students out of the 3 students have the same birthday is given to us, and it's given as 0.992. We have to find out what is the probability that the 2 students have the same birthday. So now here we consider that the probability that the 2 students have the same birthday is nothing but it is equal to 1 minus probability that the students have not the same birthday. So to have the same birthday, we have to have non-occurrence of that event. So occurrence of an event, non-occurrence of an event can be 1 minus occurrence of the event, probability. So therefore you are taking the probability that 2 students have the same birthday is equal to 1 minus probability that the 2 students will not have the same birthday. So which is equal to 1 minus 0.992, which is given that not having the same birthday is 0.992. So which is nothing but equal to 0.008 is the answer. Now going into the 8th problem. A bag contains 3 red balls and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the ball drawn is red, not red? So we have to find out in the first case that the ball drawn is red, and in the second case the ball drawn is not red. So total number of balls in this bag is nothing but equal to red balls are 3 and black balls are 5. So total number of balls in the bag is equal to 8. We are having number of balls in the bag is equal to 8. So probability of not getting a red ball and probability of getting a red ball we can find out. So probability of not getting a red ball is nothing but probability of getting a black ball. It's the same because there are only 2 kinds of balls in the bag. So whenever we are finding out such type of problem, if you are having 2 kinds, if one ball is not, you don't want to draw one of the ball, the other ball number will be the answer, the probability of the number of balls of the other color. So here first number of red balls in the bag is equal to how much? 3. Number of black balls in the bag is equal to 5. And total number of balls in the bag is equal to 3 plus 5, which is equal to 8. So therefore here you are having n of s, the sample space is nothing but 8. So first one is, let A be the favorable outcomes of getting red balls. Let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting red balls. Then n of A is equal to 3. Therefore, probability of A is equal to n of A by n of S. That is probability of getting red balls. That is 3 by 8. Now next, let capital B be the favorable outcomes of getting not red balls. That is getting black balls. Not getting red balls is equivalent to nothing but getting black balls. So then, since we have taken this event as B, n of B, number of favorable events of B is equal to 5. Therefore, probability of B is equal to n of B by n of S, which is equal to 5 by 8. Now going in the ninth problem, a box contains 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles and 4 green marbles. So total number of marbles is equal to how much? 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 17. Here a box contains 5 red marbles. It's not 9, it's 5. 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles and 4 green marbles. One marble is taken out of the box at random. What is the probability that the marble taken out will be red, white, not green? So if it is not green, it will be the other two colors. That is red and white. Red, we know how many marbles are there. We know how many white marbles are there. So according to that we can do. So third bit over here is not green. So now we find out the solution. We'll see. Number of red marbles is equal to 5. Number of white marbles is equal to 8. And number of green marbles is equal to 4. So total number of marbles is equal to 5 plus 8 plus 4, which is equal to 17. So n of S is equal to 17 for us now here. So first bit in this, you are having let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting red marble. So here our favorable outcomes of getting red marble is nothing but 5. So n of A is equal to 5. And therefore probability of A is equal to n of A by n of S, which is equal to 5 by 17. Second bit, let capital B be the favorable outcomes of getting white marbles. Outcomes of getting white marble. So here white marbles, the probability, a number of favorable outcomes are 8. So n of capital B is equal to 8. Therefore probability of B is equal to n of B by n of S, which is equal to 8 by 17. And third one, let's capital C be the favorable outcomes of getting not green marble. Then not green means there are 3 types of marbles in this box. One is red, white and green. So not green means it will be red and white. So not green marbles means it is equal to n of C is equal to 5 plus 8, which is equal to 13. So probability of C is equal to n of C by n of S, which is equal to 13 by 17. Next, a piggy bank contains 100 50 paisa coins, 50 1 rupee coins, 20 2 rupee coins, and 10 5 rupee coins. If it is equally likely that one of the coins will fall out when the bank is turned upside down, what is the probability that the coin will be a 50 paisa coin? What is the probability that the coin will be a 50 paisa coin? So now here you are having 50 paisa coins, 1 rupee coins, 2 rupee coins, 5 rupee coins, and the total number of coins, if we add all of them, we'll get them. So accordingly we have to do what is the favorable events, what is the probability that the coin will be a 50 paisa coin and will not be a 50 paisa coin, a 5 rupee coin. If it is not a 5 rupee coin, it will definitely be a 1 rupee coin, a 2 rupee coin, and 50 paisa coins. Okay, so therefore how do we solve such type of problem? Just go and we'll write down all the given information first. The problem is written because most of them, without seeing the problem, they just start doing the solution. They just see the solution and they come. So that's why I'm giving you the problem itself here. You no need to go into the textbook also to see here. Directly you can see here only and do everything. So here you are having number of 50 paisa coins is equal to 100, number of 1 rupee coins is equal to 50, number of 2 rupee coins is equal to 20, and number of 5 rupee coins is equal to 10. So total number of coins is equal to nothing but you add everything, you get 180. So n of S is equal to 180 for us. So first bit is, let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting a 50 paisa coin. Let A be the favorable outcomes of getting a 50 paisa coin. Then n of A is equal to 100. Therefore P of A is equal to n of A by n of S, 100 by 180, which is equal to 5 by 9. Next, second, let B be the favorable outcomes of getting not a 5 rupee coin. Then how many 5 rupee coins are there? 10. So without this, without 5 rupee coins, we write the remaining coins. We add all of them. We are having totally 100 plus 50 plus 20, that is 170. So n of B is equal to nothing but 170. So let B be the favorable outcomes of getting not a 5 rupee coin is equal to 170. So P of B is equal to n of B by n of S, which is equal to 170 by 180, which is equal to 17 by 18. Next, question 11. Gopi buys a fish from a shop for his aquarium. The shopkeeper takes out one fish at random from a tank containing 5 male fish and 8 female fish. What is the probability that the fish taken out is a male fish? What is the probability that the fish taken out is a male fish? So he buys fish from a shop for his aquarium, takes out one fish at random from a tank containing 5 male fish and 8 female fish. So total number of fish in that tank, whether it is male or female, is 8 plus 5 is 13. So now here you want a male fish. What is the probability of getting a male fish? They are asking. So number of male fish is equal to 5, number of female fish is equal to 8, and total number of fish is equal to 13. That is n of S is equal to 13. Let A be the favorable outcomes of getting a male fish. Let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting a male fish. Then n of A is equal to 5. Therefore, P of A is equal to n of A by n of S, which is equal to 5 by 13. Next, going to question 12. Question 12. A game of chance consists of spinning an arrow which comes to rest point at one of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and these are equally likely outcomes. What is the probability that it will point at 8, an odd number, a number greater than 2, a number less than 9? So your game of chance consists of spinning an arrow which comes to rest point at one of the numbers. So the numbers which are given are 1 to 8, and these are all equally likely outcomes. So each one has the same chance of coming. That is, if you are throwing that chance, that arrow can be pointed to any one of them. So what is the probability that it will be? It will point at 8, an odd number. So odd numbers are nothing but 1, 3, 5 and 7. A number greater than 2 means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A number less than 9 means all the numbers you can take. So therefore this is the wheel. You name it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the arrow is marked here. So solution, total number of possible outcomes in the game is equal to 8. So n of s is equal to 8. So let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting 8. Then n of s is equal to 8, you know that. So n of A is equal to here 1. So probability of A is equal to n of A by n of S. So the arrow can be pointed only once at 8. Now second bit, let B be the favorable outcomes of getting an odd number. Then probability of B contains 1, 3, 5 and 7. So number of outcomes which are favorable to B is equal to 4. So probability of B is equal to n of B by n of S, which is equal to 4 by 8, which is equal to half. Next we have, let C be the favorable outcomes of getting a number greater than 2. Let C be the favorable outcomes of getting a number greater than 2. Number greater than 2, then C is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So n of C is equal to 6. Therefore probability of C is equal to n of C by n of S, which is equal to 6 by 8, which is equal to 3 by 4. Now fourth one is, let D be the favorable outcomes of getting a number less than 9. Of getting a number less than 9. Then capital D is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. N of D is equal to 8. So probability of D is equal to N of D by N of S, which is equal to 8 by 8, which is equal to 1. Now, a die is thrown. Next question, question 13. A die is thrown once. Find the probability of getting first a prime number, second a number lying between 2 and 6, third an odd number. So now when a die is thrown, we know what are all the outcomes we are having. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So total number of all possible outcomes are nothing but 6. So if we throw a die, the total number of outcomes, all possible outcomes are S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. N of S is equal to 6. So N of S is equal to 6 means we have to consider what is a prime number lying between 2 and 6, and an odd number. We have to find out the probability of getting all this. So what are prime numbers? 2, 3 and 5 are the prime numbers from 1 to 6. So we'll take this as one favorable event. And what are all the favorable outcomes? Let us see. So let E be the favorable outcomes of getting a prime number. Then E is equal to 2, 3, 5. So number of elements in this is equal to 3. So we are getting here the probability N of P of E is equal to N of E by N of S, which is equal to 3 by 6, which is equal to 1 by 2. Next, let's see, let F be the favorable outcomes of getting a number lying between 2 and 6. Then F is equal to 3, 4, 5. So you're having N of F is equal to 3, and probability of F is equal to N of F by N of S, which is equal to 3 by 6, which is half. Then next, third bit, let G be the favorable outcomes of getting an odd number. Then G is equal to 1, 3, 5, which implies N of G is equal to 3. So probability of G is equal to N of G by N of S, which is equal to 3 by 6, which is equal to half. Next question 14. One card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of getting from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of getting first a king of red color, second a face card, third a red face card, fourth the jack of hearts, fifth a spade, and sixth the queen of diamonds. So let us see how many cards are there. Total number of possible outcomes are there. 52 cards. So how do we write these 52 cards? We are having 4 types of cards. What are those 4 types of cards? Total number of all possible outcomes is 52. So what are the different types of cards? We'll see. We are having 4 different, 2 red and 2 black, diamond, hearts, claver and spade. So these are the different types of cards, and each one we have 13, 13. In diamonds we have 13, in hearts we have 13, in clover we have 13, and spade we have 13. So red cards total are 26 and black cards are 26. So under red cards we have diamonds which are 13, hearts which are 13, and again under black cards we have clover which are 13 and spade which are 13. So 13 cards are A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, J, Q, K. So these are the 13 cards which we are having. So total number of all possible outcomes is equal to 52. That is n of s is equal to 52. That is 13 fours are 52, because each type we are having 13 and 4 different types of cards we are having. So let E be the favorable outcome of getting a king or a king of red color. So how many kings of red colors will be there? You will have in diamond set one king, in hearts you will have one king. Both are red in color. So therefore n of E is equal to nothing but 2 cards. Therefore probability of E is equal to n of E by n of S, which is equal to 2 by 52, which is equal to 1 by 26. Then second, let F be the favorable outcomes of getting a face card. Favorable outcomes of getting a face card. Then n of F is equal to 12. Therefore probability of F is equal to n of F by n of S. A face card are nothing but J, Q, K. So in each one you will have 3, 3. So 3 fours are 12 you will have. So n of E by n of S is equal, n of F by n of S is equal to 12 by 52, which is equal to 3 by 13. So next we have to find out what is a red face card. Let G be the favorable outcomes of red face card. Red face card, how many will have? All JQK in hearts, JQK in diamonds. So these are all red cards. So totally 6 will be there, face cards. So P of G is equal to n of G by n of S, which is equal to 6 by 52, which is equal to 3 by 26. Next, we have let H be the favorable outcomes of getting the jacks from the hearts. Then, so in hearts how many jacks you will have? Only 1. So therefore n of H is equal to 1. So probability of H is equal to n of H by n of S, which is equal to 1 by 50. Next, fifth one. Let I be the favorable outcome of getting a spade. Spade, how many spade cards are there? Totally 13. So here n of I is equal to 13. Therefore probability of I is equal to n of I by n of S, which is equal to 13 by 52, which is equal to 1 by 4. Next, sixth one. Let J be the favorable outcomes of getting the queen of diamonds. Then getting the queen of diamonds, then n of J is equal to 1. Therefore P of J is equal to n of J by n of S, which is equal to 1 by 52. So question 15. 5 cards, the 10, Jack, Queen, King and Ace of diamonds are well shuffled with their face downwards. So one card is then picked up at random. So we have 2 bits in this. First one, with we having 10, Jack, Queen, King and Ace of diamonds. These are nothing but the 5 cards which we are having. So total number of our sample space consists of 5 cards. So what is the probability of the card being a queen? So what is the probability that the card is a queen? Second one, If the queen is drawn and put aside, what is the probability that the second card picked up is an ace, a queen? What is the probability that the card is a queen? And second one, if the queen is drawn and put aside, what is the probability that the second card picked up is an ace or a queen? So in the solution part, total number of cards which we are having is 5. Namely 10, jack, queen and king and ace of diamonds. So n of s is equal to 5. So we are in first bit, let E be the favorable outcomes of getting a queen. So how many queens are there in this? It is nothing but equal to 1. So n of E is equal to 1. Therefore, probability of E is equal to n of E by n of s, which is equal to 1 by 5. Now we have drawn one queen from this pack of from these 5 cards. So we are putting it to one side. So then the total possible outcomes are 4. Because you are from 5 you are minusing the queen. That is one card which is equal to 4. So n of s is equal to 4 over. So first bit is let A be the favorable outcomes if the picked up card is an ace. So here you are having how many aces in these 4 cards which are left? 1 ace. So therefore n of A by n of s is equal to 1 by 4. P of A is equal to n of A by n of s, which is equal to 1 by 4. Next, in this you are having one more bit, B. Let B be the favorable outcomes if the picked up card is a queen. Now we removed a queen and we put to one side, so there is no queen in the cards, 4 cards. So therefore n of B is equal to nothing but 0. So therefore the probability of B is equal to n of B by n of s, which is equal to 0 by 4, which is equal to 0. Next, question 16. In this, 12 defective pens are accidentally mixed with 132 good ones. So 12 defective pens are accidentally mixed with 132 good ones. It is not possible to just look at a pen. It is not possible to just look at a pen and tell whether or not it is defective. One pen is taken out at random from this lot. What is the determine the probability that the pen taken out is a good one? The pen taken out is a good one. So totally how many pens we are having? Defective pens are 12. Number of non-defective pens are 132. So total number of pens are equal to 12 plus 132, which is equal to 144. So these are the number of pens which you are having, whether it is defective or non-defective. So total here when we define that, number of defective pens we write it as 12 and number of non-defective we are writing it as 132. So total number of pens is equal to 12 plus 132, which is 144. So let A be the favorable outcomes of getting the pen taken out is a good one. It's a good one. So how many good pens are there? 132. So N of A is equal to 132. Therefore probability of A is equal to N of A by N of S 132 by 144, which is equal to 11 by 12. That's the answer. Question 12. 17. So a lot of 20 bulbs contain 4 defective ones. One bulb is drawn at random from the lot. What is the probability that this bulb is defective? This is the first bit which we have. So out of 20 bulbs, 4 are defective. So we have to find out what is the probability that this bulb is defective, which you remove from this set of bulbs. Okay, second bit, there is one more bit also. Suppose the bulb drawn in 1 is not defective. Suppose the bulb drawn in 1 is not defective and is not replaced. Now one bulb is drawn at random from the rest. What is the probability that this bulb is not defective? So we are not replacing that bulb back. Suppose that bulb is drawn and it is not defective, but we are not replacing it back into the set of bulbs. Now one bulb is drawn at random from the rest. What is the probability that this bulb is not defective? In the first case, we have to find out the probability that the bulb is defective, which are removed from the lot of 20 bulbs. So now how do we do this problem? We'll see solution. In the first bit, total number of bulbs over here is 20. That is, our sample space consists of 20. That is, N of S is equal to 20. So let capital A be the favorable outcomes of getting defective bulbs. Then N of A is equal to 4, because there are 4 defective bulbs in the lot of 20 bulbs. So probability of A is equal to N of A by N of S, which is equal to 4 by 20, which is 1 by 5. Now second, total number of bulbs, because the bulb which is drawn, even though it is not defective, we are not replacing it. So total number of bulbs over here is equal to 90. So now let B be the favorable outcomes of getting non-defective bulbs. Then N of B is equal to 19 minus 4, which is equal to 15. Therefore probability of B is equal to N of B by N of S, which is equal to 15 by 19. Now in question 18, a box contains 90 discs which are numbered from 1 to 90. If one disc is drawn at random from the box, find the probability that it bears a 2-digit number, a perfect square number, a number divisible by 5. So a box which contains 90 discs and is numbered from 1 to 90. If one disc is drawn at random from the box, we are going to find out the probability of a 2-digit number, of getting a 2-digit number and a perfect square number and a number divisible by 5. So this is the question. So total number of discs in the box is equal to how much? If we take the solution, total number of discs in the box is equal to 90. N of S is equal to 90. Therefore we have how many favorable even outcomes of getting a two-digit number here. Let A be the favorable outcomes of getting a two-digit number. Then n of A is equal to 81. Because 1 to 9 we are single digit number, we don't take those, we take from 10. 10 to 90 are 81 numbers. Therefore, P of A is equal to n of A by n of S, which is equal to 81 by 90, which is 9 by 10. Now let B be the favorable outcomes of getting a perfect square number. So between 1 and 100, how many perfect squares are there? We'll just see from 1 to 100. We are including 1 and 100 also. So 1, 4, 9, 16. That is 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square 25, 6 square 36, 7 square 49, 8 square 64, 9 square 81. So here you are having P of B is equal to n of B by n of S, where n of B is equal to 9, 9 by 90, which is equal to 1 by 10. Now let's see the favorable outcomes of getting a number divisible by 5. Getting a number divisible by 5. So what are all the numbers which are divisible by 5? Here is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. So there are totally 18 numbers over here. So 18 by 90 is the probability, which is equal to 1 by 5. Now going into question 19. A child has a die whose 6 faces show the letters as given below. So you know that a die has 6 faces, but we are not taking the numbers. They are written on them. Six alphabets are written. So what are those alphabets? We'll just see. A, B, C, D, E, A. Again A is repeated. So the die is thrown once. What is the probability of getting a A? And what is the probability of getting a D? We have to find out the probabilities of these two. So when you throw the die, you have to get either a or a D. So total number of phases in a die is equal to how much? 6. And those phases are defined above, that is A, B, C, D, E and A. Now let E be the favorable outcomes of getting A. Let E be the favorable outcome of getting A. Then n of E is equal to 2 and probability of E is equal to n of E by n of S, which is equal to 2 by 6, which is equal to 1 by 3. Now second, let A be the favorable event of getting D. Favorable outcome of getting D. Then n of D is equal to 1. Probability of D is equal to n of D by n of S, which is equal to 1 by 6. Now next 28. Suppose you drop a die at random on the rectangular region shown the below figure. What is the probability that it will tend inside the circle with diameter 1 meter? So we have to find out what is the probability that it will tend inside the circle with diameter 1 meter. So we are having a rectangle and a circle inside. The rectangle, the length is 3 meters, breadth is 2 meters. So solution, what is the solution we have here? We'll see. Area of rectangular region is equal to length into breadth, which is equal to 3 into 2, that is 6 meters square, Diameter of the circle is equal to 1 meter. Diameter of the circle is equal to 1 meter. Radius is equal to half meters. So area is equal to, area of the circle is pi r square, which is equal to pi into 1 by 2 whole square, which is pi by 4 meters square. Now probability that the die will land inside the circle is equal to area of the circle by total area. So pi by 4 by 6 is equal to pi by 24, pi by 4 into 6, which is equal to pi by 24. Next, a lot consists of 144 ball pens, of which 20 are defective and the others are good. Noori will buy a pen if it is good. Noori will buy a pen if it is good, but will not buy if it is defective. The shopkeeper draws one pen at random and gives it to her. The shopkeeper draws one pen at random and gives it to her. What is the probability that? What is the probability that? First she will buy it, she will not buy it. Second, what is the probability that she will buy it and she will not buy it? So solution of here is total number of ball pens is equal to, how many ball pens are there? 144. That is, sample space consists of 144 ball pens total, a lot. Then let A be the favorable outcomes of buying a ball pen by Noori. Then N of A is equal to 144 minus 20. Noori will buy the pen only if it is good. She will not buy if it is defective. So defective we have to minus from the normal lot of 144. So we got it as 124 and we named it as N of A. So P of A is equal to N of A by N of S, which is equal to 125 by 144, which is equal to 31 by 36. Now second one, let B be the favorable outcomes of not buying a ball pen. The favorable outcomes of not buying a ball pen. Then P of B is equal to 1 minus P of A, which is equal to 1 minus 31 by 36, which is 5 by 36. Next question, complete the following table. You have here event, sum of two dice and probability. Sum on both the dice is 2. So if I get 1 1 on both the dice, then the sum will be equal to 2. So only once when you're throwing both the coins, here you're having, if both of them are thrown, you're getting 1 1 on both of them. So therefore you're getting the total as 2. So only one time this will happen if both the dice are thrown. The sum is 1 by, the probability is 1 by 36. The sum is 2. So now we fill up this table, even sum of two dice. When it is 3, sum of the two dice is 4, sum of two dice is 5, sum of two dice is 6, sum of two dice is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So now a student argues that there are two possible outcomes. Now, so 11 possible outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 11. That is 2, the sum of 2, sum of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So 11 possible outcomes are there. Therefore, each of them has a probability 1 by 11. Do you agree with this argument? So is getting a sum of 2 equal to getting a sum of 3? Is it equal to getting a sum of 4? Is it equal to sum of getting 5? So total number of possibilities, we'll just see here, possible outcomes is 36. So n of s is equal to 36 because you have 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. When you're throwing 2 dice, you might get 1 on the first die, 1 on the second die. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, so on up till 6, 6 you can write. In the same way 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. So in that way, now here sum of getting 2 means over here you are getting only one possibility is there, that is 1, 1. Okay, now how will you get the sum of 3 when on the first dice it is 1, on the second it is 2, on the first it is 2 and the second it is 1. So therefore it will get a total of 3. So how many cases are there? Only 2. So 2 by 36 is the answer here. Four sum of 4 means 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 1. So total cases here it is 3, the favorable event. So 3 by 36. The same way 5 means you are getting it as 4 by 36. 6 means it is 1, 5, 5, 1, 3, 3, 4, 2 and 2, 4, which is equal to 5, that is 5 by 36. Now when you want to get 7, it is 1, 6, 6, 1, 2, 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3. So totally there are 6 over here, 6 by 36. Next again for 8, you can write it as 6, 2 or 2, 6. Then 4, 4 we are having 5, 3, 3, 5. So total number of cases over here are 5 over here. For 8 it is 5. Then 4, 4 also. For 9 it is 3, 6, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5. So 4, 4 by 36. Next 10th one, 4, 6, 6, 4, 5, 5. So 3 by 36. 11 means it is 6, 5, 5, 11, 5, 6, which is 2. So 2 by 36, which is 1 by 18. Then you are having 12 is 6, 6. Which is equal to 1, 1 by 36. So now we have to justify the answer for this. The student argues that there are 11 possible outcomes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Justify answer. Total number of possible outcomes is 36. Here you are having that they are all equally likely. Okay. So 23rd one is also done here. So what's the answer for 23rd one? It is 6 by 8, which is 3 by 4. Now 24th one, a die is thrown twice. What is the probability that 5 will not come up either time, or 5 will come at least once? So now when a die is thrown twice, the possible outcomes are, you will have all these possible outcomes which you are having here. because this is related even to the previous one also, that is the 22nd one. We can tell that the probability in the second bit. Do you agree with this argument that the probability is 1 by 11? Justify your answer is asking over there, because they are not equally likely. Each and every they are mutually exclusive events, because sum of getting 2 is not equal to sum of getting 3 on both the dice. Therefore these are all the possible outcomes which you can have over here. That's why we got 36 even in the previous problem. The total number of the sample space consists of 36. So let A be the favorable outcome, that 5 will not come up either time. So wherever 5 is there, in whether it is 1 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 5 5 6 5 and also 5 1 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 5 5 6, we remove all this, and whatever is remaining, those numbers we write up. So we are having all those where 5 is not appearing on any of the toss. So these are all the possible outcomes. They are totally 25. Therefore n of A is equal to 25. Therefore P of A is equal to n of A by n of S, which is equal to 25 by 36. Let B be the favorable outcomes, that 5 will come at least once. So what all we left in this previous bit, we are going to write down all those numbers, that is 1 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 6 5 5 6 5 5 1 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 5 5 6. So total number of cases are nothing but 11. So n of B is equal to 11 for us. Therefore P of B is equal to n of B by n of S, which is 11 by 36. So last problem, which of the following arguments are correct and which are not correct? Give reasons for your answers. Which of the following arguments are correct and which are not correct, we'll see over here. So here we have to give even reasons for the answer. The first one, if 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, there are 3 possible outcomes. There are 3 possible outcomes: 2 heads, 2 tails, or 1 of each. So therefore for each of these outcomes the probability is 1 by 3. Now in the solution part, we are having 2 bits actually in the question itself. If a die is thrown, there are 2 possible outcomes, an odd number or an even number. Therefore the probability of getting an odd number is equal to half. We have to tell whether this statement is also correct or wrong. Therefore the probability of getting an odd number is 1 by 2. So solution is, the first one, if 2 coins are tossed at the same time, the possible outcomes are, if 2 coins are tossed at the same time, the possible outcomes are S is equal to HH, HT, TH, TT. So n of s is equal to 4. So probability of each occurrence is equal to 1 by 4. That is, whether it's two heads, one head, one tail, tail and head, tail, tail. Thus the given statement is wrong. The probability of each of these outcomes is 1 by 3. It's given in the question. That is wrong because the probability of each of its occurrence is equal to 1 by 4. Now if a die is thrown once, the possible outcomes are, if a die is thrown once, the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n of s is equal to 6. Now let a be the favorable outcomes of getting odd number. So how many odd numbers are there when we throw a die? If we are taking a as a favorable outcomes, a is equal to 1, 3, 5. So our sample space here consists of 6. N of a is equal to 3, n of s is equal to 6. So probability of a is equal to n of a by n of s, which is equal to 3 by 6, which is equal to 1 by 2. So this is the answer. Therefore, the given statement is probability of getting an odd number is 1 by 2. The given statement is correct.